The Houston Texans cannot even tank right. And here's where I say that at 2-9, Nick Casario, Cal McNair, David Culley, if David Culley's not fired after this season, need to have the conversation and say, all right, we need to focus on next year. And I think they've done that, right? That's kind of the reason why they got rid of Charles Omenihu, so that Jonathan Grenard could have no problem playing, and also so that Jacob Martin, could have more playing time. And both of them have absolutely, flourished. I'm so excited for these two edge rushers for the rest of the season. You know, they could be a potential duo in itself. Maybe we don't need to have to worry about someone on the other side of Jonathan Grenard because of how good Jacob Martin is playing. But that's another topic for another day. We've seen the Houston Texans make moves to give the younger guys, some opportunities, right? We released Andre Roberts. We haven't really used Chris Conley or not. We let go of Anthony Miller. Nico Collins gets more involved. And I think the Houston Texans need to do that with the quarterback position. And yes, you're going to hear me say it one more time. The Houston Texans and David Culley need to now worry about the the idea of Davis Mills starting week 1 for the Houston Texans next season. Because now, there's no way you come back and make the playoffs. You're now fighting for draft position. You just secured the second overall pick by losing to the New York Jets on Sunday. And then the question you can ask is, well, can Davis Mills play any worse than Tyrod Taylor? Because Tyrod Taylor had a bad game against the New York Jets. In the second half, the offense absolutely laid flat. It absolutely shut down. Couldn't get anything going. In the game against the Tennessee Titans, the two times we scored the ball was because the defense gave us the ball inside the 5. Could Davis Mills potentially score there? Who knows? We know Davis Mills could run, like not like Tyrod, but he does have some wiggle. My question is, I don't think I'm sorry. Like my point being, there's a good chance the Houston Texans don't go for a quarterback in free agency because there's really not any. The main guys are Ben Roethlisberger, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Cam Newton. The Houston Texans are not going to take a chance on any of those guys. If you look at the draft, none of the quarterbacks have really been worthy enough to waste the first pick on. You know, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter, the other guy from the guy from Nevada. None of these guys have showed that they could be, a franchise quarterback. It was supposed to be Spencer Rattler. It hasn't showed it. It was supposed to be Sam Howell. Hasn't showed it. So there's no for sure number one QB spot. So there's a very good chance the Houston Texans go into next season with Davis Mills as a starter, and that's why it's imperative and important that you start the man right now. Let him lose these games. Let him get the experience. What if he goes into a shootout, right? What if he puts up hella points and and develops and shows that he can be a starting quarterback? If you look at his best game against Tyrod Taylor's best game, you're gonna say, look, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns against the New England Patriots defense. Give me that all day, over Tyrod Taylor's best game, which was probably against the I'm sorry, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If there's any hope or any idea of Davis Mills being your starter next season, you have to throw him out there right now. Because honestly, at 2-9, there's zero chance Tyrod Taylor is on this team next year. None whatsoever. So with that being said, with knowing that he's not going to be here because he hasn't really played good, he hasn't really showed that he could, command this team. Had a chance against Miami, couldn't do that. Had a chance against, the Titans, didn't really have a great game, but definitely showed, that we could score. And then he shits the bed against the New York Jets. It's time to shut it down. Sorry for the squeaky voice there. You drafted Davis Mills in the third round so that you don't have to draft him next year because a lot of people were expecting Davis Mills, to be a potential number one overall pick. You said that yourself, Nick Casario. We drafted Davis Mills so we didn't have to draft him high next year. And at 2-9, there's nothing for you to lose. What if this kid can develop into something good? And what if you found a QB? What if you found your Kirk Cousins? What if you found a top 15 quarterback? Are you not happy with that? But at the situation you're in at 2-9, where there's no chance of any good quarterbacks in free agency, and none in the draft whatsoever that are worthy enough, to be selected in, the top 3 rounds with this amount of defensive studs, because you could get an Aiden Hutchinson or Jordan Davis, a Derek Stingley, an Andrew Booth Jr., and then some great wide receivers. The Houston Texans can fix a bunch of their needs this season. They have to find out if the quarterback could be fixed. And you're only going to know that it is if you place Davis Mills. So let me know what you guys think. As always, go Texans. You guys have a blessed day.